What is up, everybody? It is me, Liam Murphy, and Davis back after a bit of a delay. We got lots to talk about today. We're going to be doing a drafters draft on drafters.com. Still waiting on a couple if you would like to draft with us. But Davis, we're skipping the important stuff. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I am. My brain is like already hurting from all of the best ball drafts. We got like, what is it, 19 days now till the
I think
season
less.
starts?
I think it's like 16 or 17 days.
Yeah. So I got like 50 more BBM threes that I got to do. Doing main events. I did a main event last night, and gonna do another one Thursday night. Going to try and get one in with you and Kyle, doing another on Tuesday. So it is draft season.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely experienced a little bit of burnout. For those who don't know, Davis had his wedding and his honeymoon. I was just at a bachelor party. This draft did start, but we're going to, we'll get to the football, guys. You know us. We like to talk this shit before. Let me share the draft screen with you guys. So let's start with you, Davis. First off, just a real quick, we got Siege in here with us. I pulled the 112. Davis is at the 110.
Dude, I am getting so sick of these turn picks, man. So sick of it.
I am on the turn. You're in a worse
I
spot.
got back from Jamaica, and I immediately registered for BBMs, and I got 3 straight 108s, which is just the worst.
Wow. So walk us through, Davis. The wedding. Tell us about the wedding. Tell us about the honeymoon. The stage is yours. Fill the people in.
Well, I mean, dude, the wedding is great. It really is. You don't know until you do it. It really is the best day of your life. Got some.
Did it go too fast, too slow, just right? How did that feel?
The morning goes pretty slow, but the whole ceremony is it's over like that.
Yeah,
totally. Got some good conversation with Leone and Dink about Traylon Burks. Chopped it up. And
what was that like with like the football? Were you just like talking football with them, or like?
Pretty much,
I was at a wedding.
yeah.
I don't think I'd be like, "Hey, man, what do we think of Juju Smith-Schuster this year?" Like, I think.
Well, Silva called Leone during the ceremony or during the reception or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, he probably told you gotta," because it was on the Saturday and it was the day that Traylon Burks was like playing in the third quarter of the preseason game, and I was like, oh, he's probably calling you to you gotta bump Traylon Burks' market share down even more, which is pretty funny. But the honeymoon was unreal, dude. I mean, the all inclusives, it is really unbelievable. I might become like a sandals guy. Like, it is just unreal. Like, doing that, like, I totally know why Brady just bailed on training camp for 10 days to go hang out on a beach.
Yeah, that's one of many stories we have to talk about. So talk us through the honeymoon. Of course, people want to know, did you draft there? Did you do some slows? How many did you enter? What were some of your favorite activities?
Dude, I could have done way more slows. I did. So sitting in the airport Monday morning really early, I registered for 6 BBM 3 slows, but I could have done like 15, maybe. I mean, because you just are not doing anything.
You're just like literally just like when you're at all inclusive, you're like sitting by pool, going to the beach.
That's it. I mean, I brought my Kindle Paperwhite, and I read a bunch of books, and I got a tan, and I just like, you're not doing anything. You're not there. Like, I mean, you can go do excursions or whatever, but no, we were just chilling.
Good. So I was at a bachelor party. The group of dudes that I was on a bachelor party when I won BBM 2. One of the other guys had his bachelor party, and we were up on Lake Champlain in Vermont. Truly a magical place, and he was never going to be the Vegas bachelor party. That wasn't for me either. I was one of most dudes were like I guess I'm gonna just take Henry here at the 12 and
gross.
And let's go Saquon. Let's go to like the 101s and 1-2s of futures past. Anyways, so I was on the bachelor party. I'm 29, about to be 30. Most of the dudes are, 26, 27, 28. But let me tell you, there was some rough recoveries by the group. The first day we get into Burlington, Vermont, where you're on the clock, by the way. We got some drinks and just had way too much to drink. And I'm not the biggest drinker in the world, but slamming the Budweisers, playing drinking games. We had this like plan to do the drinking Olympics, and like half the crew was just out of commission the next day. Really slow recoveries, but great time with the lads. And yeah, I mean, like the weight of the drafts are coming at me. By the way, guys, I wanted to mention, if you are not up on drafters.com, if you use promo code ChessLiam or promo code Davis, you will get a deposit match up to $100. So promo code ChessLiam, promo code Davis to get a $100 deposit match on drafters.com. So one of the many topics, by the way, just for our audio listeners, Davis went Travis Kelce, Joseph Mixon, and I went Derrick Henry and Saquon. For what was I going to say there? Was Mathology my tour guide? No, he was not. But he was giving me a bunch of Vermont plans. Was he's from there? Hilarious dude. So Davis, what of recent NFL news has stuck out to you, if any?
I mean, the couple big things are like the Pacheco steam has gotten insane. He went in the 9th round of my main event last night.
It's even worse in because I play the DraftKings 555, and that ecosystem's pretty small. And it's like Dameon Pierce went in the 9th round. Like Ramondre goes in like the 7th sometimes.
I mean, I get Dameon Pierce. I mean, you might get 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns out of Dameon Pierce. I totally get that. I mean, Pacheco, if I set the line at 1 offensive snap played in week 1, are you taking over or under? I mean, he just might not play.
Well, let's talk about the more important thing to begin. Is Ronald Jones playing football in the year of our Lord 2022?
He's playing, but he's not playing for the Chiefs. He's going to get cut. They go to 80 on Thursday, and I would imagine there's a decent chance that's it for him because he doesn't play.
I'm still drafting him in like the 19th, 20th round in some of these high stakes.
Well, Baltimore will pick him up. Green Bay.
That'd be a great spot. Honestly, Baltimore may be like.
Well, Baltimore. I mean, the Chargers, right? The Chargers have been desperately seeking for a complement to Austin Eckler on the ground. I mean,
but like Ronald Jones has Josh Edwards.
Yeah,
that feels pretty good.
Yeah,
because I just think like pass catching is more important at some of these teams. Like the Chargers you have to catch balls too.
No, they are totally fine basically having a fullback complement Austin Eckler. I mean, Josh Kelly and Larry Roundtree were not catching any passes last year, but they were getting on the field.
That's fair. So also let's talk about real quick the overlay vibe. So Drafters is at 20,000 entrants out of 55,000.
Our friends at Drafters, we love them, and I was pretty confident that it wasn't going to overlay, but I'm wrong. I mean, I think we're going to get some pretty significant overlay here.
What is your guess on the entrants we are going to see?
It's 55,000 is what the total thing is. I will guess like 15 to 18% overlay.
I think it really depends on how many big Twitter accounts do like overlay alerts. Like if Evan Silva was like, hey, you're an idiot if you're drafting an underdog team that's going to fill versus a contest that will overlay. And also it's so hard to gauge this like casual fantasy crowd. Like this is like the week where like people that are like, but their home league drafts are happening. So like I have no idea.
My home league draft is this Saturday.
Yeah, like I have no idea how many teams those type of people do. And like how many hardcore people are saving bullets for news. I don't know. Yeah, like 40K out of 55K.
That's what I think 40K seems like the right number at this point. Because, like Spike Week will start doing the, overlay alert, and then Roto Grinders will do a big overlay alert. I bet Establish the Run will probably do an overlay alert, and that'll get the rooms really filling.
Yeah, and I mean they have to let the contest run. Like that would be to end drafters to cancel the contest. So if you're not up on drafters and you're listening to this and you're thinking of doing some best ball teams, you should do a couple bullets in drafters. For those that don't know, just because every stream I get a question about what overlay is, it's the prize pool is guaranteed and they have to set the amount of entrants that the contest can max. And so if the contest does not fill, the prize pool is still guaranteed. So it's basic like in playoff format best balls, basically just more teams advance. In a contest like drafters, it's just you're competing against a smaller field. And like we used to see this in daily fantasy years ago where contests were
long time. Been a long time since we've gotten overlay.
Hey, but that's like
that was DraftKings customer acquisition model way back in the day.
Like, yeah, like I remember like
8-9 years ago
firing the Millie Maker and being like, wow, this is like shooting fish in the barrel. Like, 150 maxing that. Anyway, so that will be something to keep an eye on. How about like something like Underdog? Because Underdog needs 150,000 entrants.
Not happening, dude. Underdog is filling.
I think so too, but it's interesting where it's like we're talking about drafters filling 35,000. We're like, oh yeah, no. But we're talking about Underdog filling 150,000.
If they want to turn the tap on for like giving away tickets and doing some stuff with influencers and whatnot, like it's just gonna happen.
Will drafters survive if they lose 200K on their big turn?
I believe that they got acquired, not like last off season. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about best ball as an ecosystem where, to me, the arrow's pointing up for best ball, and it's like only a matter of time until the casuals at like ESPN are onboarded. So sure.
I mean, yeah. Imagine if I guess Matthew Berry's not there anymore, but imagine if on Monday Night Football people were like, "Don't you hate setting your lineup? Don't you hate when Will Fuller goes off on your bench? What if there was a new way?" Yeah.
We could see that on NBC because that's where Matthew Berry is now, and you got some best ball sickos there. Maybe a little Pat Crane in the ear, Matthew Berry, giving some voice there.
Yeah, we absolutely love to see it. We don't love to see Clutch taking an unstacked Patrick Mahomes 3 spots ahead of me. That does not feel great. I mean, when you start Kelsey, Mixon, Waddle, Juju, and then you have to take Jalen Hurts instead of Patrick Mahomes, that doesn't feel great.
Kyler, by the way, his ADP has fallen to like 67 on DraftKings, which seems very wrong.
It does not. It doesn't seem right for sure.
This is not a spot. I have no idea with Cam Akers. Sure. Welcome to the team, Cam Akers. We're going.
You're just drafting a dusty compartment of dudes right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got to mix some of these into your roster.
Yeah, you got to have some. You got to have some bad teams.
It's not necessarily like I got no Cam Akers in the previous, so it's like okay. And he I think in the 555 today, maybe he went like 75 or something. So a lot of my big stabs are getting steamed. I want to remind the people that Davis, I remember you several times saying your favorite rookie wide receiver was George Pickens. So that's a pat on the back for Davis, better than the CEH third rounders of second rounders.
You feel the one thing, honestly, I feel even better about him, not even in best ball. Like my bags are packed there, but in all these dynasty teams, I got him with all these second round rookie picks. I think he would go like ahead of Olave right now. Like I think he'd be like the 5th rookie in some of these leagues.
Yeah, he feels good. So there was like a stretch. Like there's a stretch during the early days of best ball where you just need to you get no news. So it was just like, okay, here he is. And I just kept on clicking the button. I'm like, because I wasn't really drafting Claypool. I don't draft Deontay that much. So I was like, okay, I'll take a stab.
Claypool feels like an even bigger winner of Pickens's emergence because now he doesn't have to play on the outside at all. Pickens and Deontay will just play on the outside, and Claypool is just going to eat up this, the big slot work. I've been taking Claypool a lot, like the last 4 days.
Yeah, he's like someone I would never draft and manage, but for best ball in the big slot, I could see that being.
Oh, I would still take him and manage. Claypool is sick, and Pickett. The early returns on Pickett were like everyone at camp was like, he sucks. He's throwing all these interceptions.
I've been team Pickett the whole way, so that
we saw him with the bullets flying, and Trubisky looks horrible, and Pickett is spinning and getting out of the pocket. So I feel. I mean, I still think Deontay is a horrible pick. Like Deontay going ahead of, Juju or whatever is terrible. But Claypool and Pickens feel good.
Yeah. Did you see the tweet I put out the other day about who is the Packers wide receiver 2?
I mean, everyone wants it to be Romeo.
That's the best thing about it is like it got like 500 votes, and literally between the top 4 guys, Watkins, Cobb, Dubs, and Watson, like each got around.
Why are we assuming that Alan Lazard is the wide receiver 1? I don't think he is.
Just whatever. Just assume he is by ADP. Like who is the fantasy wide receiver 2? And it's just like it's like what you want to see. Like if you want to believe Cobb and Watkins are it, that is there. And hold on here, let me make my picks.
Like I think probably if I had to bet my life on who leads the Packers in target share, I literally might vote Randall Cobb.
God, I would like maybe Aaron Jones is.
Yeah, it's. I was saying this last night to Silva and those guys when we were doing the main event. I think Lazard at his current, they laughed at how I said it. It's Lazard. I think Lazard at his current cost is the worst pick on the board. I think he is the singular worst selection.
I wouldn't say that. Like I know you and many others have been really against Lazard.
If he was round 10, if he was going where Claypool was going, I'd be totally.
He used to go, yeah. Like that's the tough thing is like he used to go in round 9, in round 10. Like he used to be a guy I mixed in. Am I drafting him in this range? No, not really. But would it really shock me if he has 8 touchdowns and 1,000 yards?
No. I would be shocked if he had 1,000 yards. I think I'd be really surprised.
So how many? Like let's do some rough projections together right now.
Well, here I'll tell you what I have him projected for.
And let's start with how many yards do you have Rodgers throwing for?
It's going to take my sheet a second to load. And these are still not my projections are not quite where I want them to be, but this is good. This is a good starting point.
Yeah, I was just gonna like top down approach. Like, let's say Rodgers throws for 4,500 yards. Maybe that's a bit 4,400,
which I think might even be high based on how much. Like, I expect him to be pretty conservative. I have him for
42. Like, we can't go much lower than that,
I've got him right now for 594 attempts. 594 attempts. Oh, did I just get auto picked? No, I'm good. 594 attempts and 4,100 yards. So that's probably a little low. So I probably need to tweak their pass rate a little bit, but just under that assumption.
Okay, whatever. We'll call it 4,100, 4,000 for a nice number.
So I have Lazard leading them in target share. So just kind of letting the market dictate that, right? I don't really know if that's accurate, but that's where I'm going. I've got him for 109 targets, which seems.
And you got 4,100 over 18 games, right? Or over 17 games?
17 games, yeah.
So that's 240 yards a game.
So I have Lazard for 854 yards and how many touchdowns? 5.2 touchdowns and 191 full point PPR points.
Yeah, but like, here's what I think. Obviously projections I think is a good process, but we have to realize that NFL quarterbacks are weirdos, and if they like or dislike you matters a lot. And like if they want to, like, and we've just seen this for time and time again. Like if Rodgers wants you to beat,
that's what I think the argument is against Lazard, though. So I think people are using that argument in favor of him. I think it works against him because he could just decide, Cobb is my guy. He could decide
He
Watkins
could.
is my
Yeah,
guy.
that could
Decide
happen.
Tunyon is my guy. I think that when he was the wide receiver 52, great argument in favor of him, right? He's the longest tenured, I guess if you don't include Cobb.
Well, but but also historically, hasn't Green Bay kind of been like there's a guy, and then
Yes.
there's
For as I mean, we're talking like 15, like we're talking like it went from being Donald Driver to Jordy Nelson
yeah,
to Devontae. Yes.
like it wouldn't shock me if the Chiefs did spread it out and it was a bunch of guys. It would be
Sure.
kind of shocking to me if everyone got there on Green Bay. It's usually like there's a guy, there's another guy, but also they could just involve their running backs a ton this year. It's a really hard team. Like, would it shock you if Rodgers put up MVP numbers again? Not really.
I think it would be. I think that is because I think one thing we learned from Brady one thing I really learned from Brady's last year in New England to the switch to Tampa Bay is like that relationship between pass catcher talent and quarterback production is just so important.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just a spot where it's like, look, I don't.
And we are really not that far removed from Aaron Rodgers putting up 2 consecutive years of playing
Where
like
we thought he
pretty
was
average
done.
football.
We thought he was done, yeah. But that probably was like the whole roster a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the big year where he really was not very good was in 2018, where he played 16 games and the Packers only won 6 games, and the wide receiver crew there. So Devontae Adams got his numbers, but then it was Jimmy Graham, a very young MVS, Randall Cobb, Jamal Williams, Equinemius St. Brown. That was when Jamal and Aaron Jones were like splitting time. Geronimo Allison, like it was cast off city, and that's not that different than what they have now, except they don't have a Devontae Adams. They have no one that good.
Well, and the other thing, like I know a lot of people don't like Christian Watson, but he could be good at football, right?
And he is at a price now that you could say is like much more palatable.
Like
right?
he could be like a much better MBS or something. Or Rodgers was just like a bad fit for MBS. Who knows? But I like MVS on the Chiefs more than I would like him on the Packers, and I think others feel the same. But
yes, I totally agree with that because of what we were just talking about with Rodgers. Where like Rodgers decided one MVS let me down too many times, so he can only be
MVS going to do the ayahuasca with Rodgers, and that was a deal breaker. All right,
and that's so funny. Like every Rodgers story comes out makes me like him less, but that was one where I was like, nope, I'm actually on board with this. That's cool. Like that's funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, like he's like the psychedelic guy of the league. That's like
I just got Miles Sanders at 111th overall.
I know, like he drops even further in DK. I took Cordero Patterson, but it's close between the two.
I mean, I'm gonna fix my Green Bay stuff here before I forget.
Yeah, it's really hard to just guess, and no one knows. Like by the vote, everyone has their own opinion of who the wide receiver.
But I think that lack of indecision should point to you the fact that the market is overconfident in Lazard and that you should just be taking stabs. I mean, Dubes now
is. Well, but that like I think it more like you should take stabs on everyone is what it tells me. It doesn't mean like you can think Lazard is a bad bet historically, and like I would agree with you, but I think if anyone was to be like, let's pretend Lazard was always at this cost and you never were able to get cheaper shares, which I do, would I X him out for the season? No, I would not. Like because I remember I've always kind of liked Lazard a little bit. I think he's.
Well, I loved Lazard as like the 30th guy on a super deep dive. I held him in some leagues, the same way that like I looked at a couple of dynasty leagues last year and I was like, why is my team that I didn't think was that good third in the league? And it was like, oh, you held on to Cordero Patterson for 5 years, or something
Lazard's
like
got
that.
some swag to him. He's like, I think his nickname is something to do with like.
Jude. I mean, he was like a prospect guy I liked, but just in general.
But like we just see like Green Bay, it's got to be your turn, like and the other thing is like maybe I think the other thing we're not factoring is Devontae Adams is so good at football compared to everyone there that is why maybe it like they don't have the liberty to really do some of that. I don't know. How many wins do you see the Packers getting?
10,
It's pretty low.
11. What is their Vegas win total? 11 probably. I bet it's 11.
Could be like 11.5.
Yeah. I don't know. I just I've been wanting to be short the Packers this whole run, this whole Aaron Rodgers resurgence, and maybe that is obfuscating my perspective.
Well, yeah, that's like I kind of capitulated on Brady this year, and maybe I shouldn't have if Brady's doing it is very weird that you take a 12-day break as a guy who's supposed to be one of the most prepared in the league. What do we think about all this Brady break and etc.?
I mean, it just feels like it doesn't matter. Whatever,
Did you see the rumor about
the Masked Singer theory?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope that's right. I mean, that would be really funny to me. But no, I think he probably just wanted to go take a break with his family.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I've been drafting a lot of Watson lately. Watson doesn't even need the thing.
Wrong W last name, bro.
Why? Who is it? Who's the other W?
It's Watkins. It's so obvious that Watkins is scoring 2 touchdowns.
Too. I think Watkins. That's the thing that could kill Lazard is if Watkins is actually good and back. But let me make a pick here.
I feel like this draft is way too balanced for me. I'm just filling out all the positions. I got Hurts, Tua, Mixon, Pollard, CH, Miles Sanders, Waddle, Juju, Devonta, Claypool, Kelsey.
Yeah, my team's kind of gross.
Well, you just went full boomer on this draft.
We're gonna mix in Romeo Dubs there. Maybe stop at my running backs. I don't know. I'd be lying if I'm trying to do max strategy on the drafters streams. Anyways, I think the team's got.
Well, I mean, I think the refreshing thing about drafters is you can kind of just take players you like.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing that could hurt Lazard too is let's say the way Watson is going to get there is going to be 60-yard touchdown catches, 80. So that could just take away from the other guys too. If he is a much better, because I've been drafting him and Tunyon with they're about to get off PUP, and the way we see this preseason shit is if they catch 2 balls in the preseason, or they catch a touchdown, I don't know, man. It feels like people are overreacting to the preseason much more than in years past.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely is already up to tight end 25.
Yeah, how do you feel about all of this? One way to get contrarian is just don't react to preseason. But at the same time, I do think some of the news is actionable, in my opinion.
I mean, that's the skill, right? Skill is obviously not reacting at all, I think would be bad, but reacting to the wrong news or even overreacting, okay, maybe Isaiah Likely is draftable in 20-round formats or whatever, but not in 18-round formats,
Yeah, and I mean, I think the biggest thing with Isaiah Likely, which is kind of good for my bags, is it just hurts whoever people thought the Ravens wide receiver 2 was. It hurts whoever that is. It doesn't affect Bateman. People are people are asking if Mark Andrews is dead. Oh god.
Yeah, that's too far. I mean, if anything, if the team is really relying on Isaiah Likely, that just means that Duvernay, Proche, and Talon Wallace have not had good training camps, and the team doesn't feel that they can rely on any of them.
Now, you and I were talking about this in a DM, but I've heard you say before it would just be so good for my brand if I shipped a contest, that would set me for life.
Yeah.
But when I'm trying to schedule the main event with you, I'm hearing, oh, this is a convenient time for me. So I'm kind of feeling 1 foot here, 1 foot here, Davis. You need to capitulate, find the most plus EV time to rip a main event draft, and we need to attack it like sharks. We're not drafting for convenience to try to ship the Millie. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I was just talking to I had just done a show with Kyle, and we were talking about that. We just need you to be available to us like Wednesday, September 7th at noon.
Well, the thing is, I don't know what. So there's a couple things that could be happening. A, I could be in Vegas for the live drafts. B, I might be going to a wedding in the UK. It depends on some. It's not my friend; it's my girlfriend's friend. So whatever. I should know that info soon. And if I'm not doing that, I'm going to Vegas. Um,
So it sounds like you're the one who doesn't want to work hard.
no, I'm ready. I could rip the draft fucking now. I don't think we want to wait until all the new. Like, it's not the most plus EV time to be drafting the day before
That's not
the.
true.
I think it's right now. It's when it's all this uncertain preseason shit, and we need to make a stand. This is what's correct. These players we should be drafting on the news. These players we don't. We don't want to give all these fucking nerds all this info to be like, oh, this is what I should be doing. All right, I'm gonna just take the Trevor Lawrence discount there. Got to get some other people on this team.
Yeah, you got to take LaVisca now.
Jesus Christ, no, thank you.
Little Zay Jones action.
Zay's in the cards. We're gonna go with Alec Pierce. But yeah, I think really like now is some of the most plus TV time, not when all the dust settles for people to work through. Let's talk about some other stuff too, because I was listening to you and Brick on the I forget which one that is. Is it the Takecast?
The Takecast.
The Takecast. And it was a discussion that was really interesting to me because we were talking about things I've been thinking as well. And neither you or me have a financial incentive to hype all these hubs. How do you feel about these hubs coming into best ball? I'll lay out how I'm kind of feeling about it.
What do you like the syndicates, like the guys drafting together?
No, I'm talking about like what Spike Week has and what Brick produced.
I mean, I feel the same way I feel about it in managed leagues, which is that you can teach a man to fish, and he's still not going to fish. He's still not going to catch.
Well, let me say this. I don't have a problem with what the hubs do today, but we're not that far from these hubs and someone doing a statistical approach where, like you said, like, hey, don't come from my best balls. Like, I don't want to be drafting against a fucking computer program that someone is selling and is plus EV. Like, do you really want to be drafting against silicone? No.
No, I mean, it's I feel the same way I feel about it with poker, which is like I don't want to play against someone who's got like a real-time solver or a heads-up display or something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like these sites need to face this question pretty soon because we've seen poker sites outlaw hubs. Like you just can't use them on some of the platforms. And of course, the hubs came before real-time assistance, which is, for anyone who doesn't know what real-time assistance is, it's like basically, a solver who is telling you how to play unexploitedly, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I want to be drafting against people. So I think it's cool. Some of like the data, it shows people to like review their own stuff, but I'm not a fan personally of these things coming out to be like, do this, do this, do this. And I wouldn't be shocked if a site banned them. But I don't know. Could be tinfoil hatting it.
I mean, how do you ban it though? You ban people from, because like even
you could very easily ban that.
So like even if the overlays don't work, people would still be able to get like the CSV information of their exposures and stuff.
I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem for is something that tells someone, because I could program a very plus EV bot right now. I could program a bot that I wanted to draft like me, basically. Some elements of what you were saying, like
you should do that then instead of beating your dick into the pavement drafting.
Oh, absolutely not, dude. We are hand in the dirt in these drafts. We are holistic process. And I don't know. There's like I don't think every year of my life I'll want to grind thousands of best balls, but I don't know. That's just what I've been thinking about it is like we're getting to a point where I don't think people realize it's the hubs are not helping the common man. It's helping the people with a lot of fucking money. Or Plus EV computer program does not help you as a casual person. It helps someone with more money than you to not make as many mistakes. Where what best ball used to be is people with a lot of money, and still is right now, are donators, in my opinion, because they are not doing they're just kind of auto drafting or whatever. And so the more we see tools to support people, that does not help you as a casual person. That helps someone with enough money that they realize it's not worth their time to do it, and it's just another plus EV thing for them to grind on. That's my take on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is probably reasonable. I don't know. I mean, it comes back to the same limitations I have on like I'm not a computer programmer, so figuring all this stuff out in terms of like because even with like DFS and managed leagues and stuff, like projections are just not that good a lot of the time. So I don't know how much adding that into the sauce for best ball drafting. Although I could probably tell a computer program to draft like I draft, honestly. Like min
Well,
one draft.
that's just stage one, but like, whatever. The program could have a statistical analysis, it could be backed with like data, and I don't know. That's just my take on them. And obviously, like, people I count as friends in the industry are creating these things, so I don't exactly want to wage war against their business model, but I would caution people just like to think through what that would do to the game in if in 5 years from now you can just purchase a program for $200 that drafts 1,000 teams for you that are plus EV. Is that really what we want the ecosystem to be?
I mean, it's not. It's like I have so much fun drafting these teams, and I
You have fun
probably
because people are terrible too. And you
yeah
think
yeah. Like I don't think I want to live in a world where I just feed in my ranks and my preferences and all the teams get drafted for me. Honestly.
well, yeah, and I think Siege is right here. Like the industry would step in if it became, but like the way it works in poker is the RTA, like this program was created, and that's not like you don't just go online and purchase that. That thing is sold for like millions of dollars between a couple people. But and obviously I think the way it would be applied to begin is the cash games. Like it would, like you would just know every year
Yes, they would be better.
The three man, the whatever.
Format.
Like, yeah, you could just crush some whale there. Yeah, yeah. OXD, I'll simply outdraft them, brother. I'm with you there, but that's just some thoughts I had from listening to you and Brick about that.
Yeah, Brick will probably just have that up and running by next offseason, and then he'll fire me from being his horse. He'll be like, I don't need you to draft teams for me in BBM3. I got a computer script that'll do it all.
Oh, is he staking you?
Yeah, he just sent me the money to do BBM3. And probably next offseason he'll be like, dude, I built a computer program. I don't need 75 Mahomes double stacks anymore.
Yeah, he's like that's fun. Did you charge a markup for your time?
No, because I would like to do it anyway. And there's the brand thing. Like if I win BBM3, I could win BBM3 for $0, and in my lifetime, that will end up making me lots of money.
Yeah, my goal is to win 2 contests this year, and then maybe I'll just sell all my action and do a stake free or do it staked next year. I don't know. We'll see. I definitely experienced the burnout, but pretty soon here I'm gonna have to be like nuts to the wall sweaty. I'm gonna buy a new monitor because, dude, I'm at like 65 entrants in the big DK draft. I'm just gonna have to do 5 at a time. Just have 5 different browsers on a big monitor, do 5 at a time. Hate it, but get those done. Definitely.
We got to get you in the cardio club, dude. Just multi-tabling 5 at a time. You could walk like 20 miles a day and just crush them.
Yeah, I mean, well, and Aaron asks, isn't the difference with poker solvos that poker solvers that we have so many simulations they can play perfectly, quote unquote. And best ball, will the inputs be good enough to actually draft a tourney winner at high frequency? Again, Aaron, I don't think it like you cannot guarantee you win a tournament with even the most like the best person in best ball does not win every year, right? Like it happened last year. I won. I was the best. We all agree. But you know,
you didn't win in year one. Herzig
yeah,
won,
yeah,
and
that
you were
was
better
that
than
year
Herzig,
was an
right?
anomaly. But Aaron, I just don't think that people conceptualize what that program would be. Like, and it doesn't need to be. Again, it probably would not be optimized to winning. But even the people I know that have done research on like they're like trying to optimize to advance or something,
Which I think is better.
well,
I think optimizing to advance is way better than optimizing to take first place in week 17 if you're doing the math that way.
I don't agree in tournaments, but you know that's why I like drafting.
Well, Liam, you'd be wrong because the expected value of 2 entries in the final is going to be greater than the expected value of 1, no matter what players you put in there.
Well,
you could have the 18.
Those teams that you advance don't make it to the finals necessarily. They just advance.
It's just random distribution of points, though. It's nothing you can control.
But like they're doing like I know some of these guys. They're doing things like 4 to 5 running backs to begin, almost no stacks. Like they don't care about stacks at all. Like, and I think that's maybe fine to score points over the course of a season, like for drafters.
Sure.
I don't think that's good for playoff formats. So I think people are not applying the knowledge they think they have correctly. But they could bury me. I could bury. What's fun about these high stakes best balls is it's a lot of people doing the same type of entrance again and again. So last year, like the finals was made up of like one dude had like 4 entries in there. And I guarantee you this year in the DK one, if like my core of players are good, I'm gonna have like the whole finals field, or someone else will because they're drafting the same.
How many guys do you have over 30% exposure?
Monetarily wise, or
just percentage wise on UD?
By the way, did you notice Logan Thomas off the pup, dude? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into him.
I like him.
I think I'd rather take Isaiah Likely than him.
I don't even know what I need on this team. How many more picks do I have? Well, Isaiah Likely was gone.
I took Jonnu way ahead of ADP because I was just lost there. Lost in the sauce.
Yeah, how about Davis, you want to catch us up on your team for the audio listeners here?
Yes. I got Jalen Hurts, Tua, Matt Ryan, Joe Mixon, Tony Pollard, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Miles Sanders, Jamal Williams, Jalen Waddle, Juju, Devonta Smith. Oh, 1 second. I got to pick real quick. I'm going to take Quez Watkins. I have, wide receiver, Jalen Waddle, Juju Smith-Schuster, Devonta Smith, Claypool, DJ Shark, Wandale, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Quez Watkins, then Travis Kelce and Jonnu Smith at tight end.
And so far, I have Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Saquon, Cam Akers, Cordero Patterson, Kenneth Gainwell, Gabe Davis, Darnell Mooney, MBS, Chris Olave, Romeo Doubs, Alec Pierce, Zay Jones, Jameson Crowder, and Dawson Knox, Logan Thomas, and Daniel Bellinger. And we got 2 more picks to go. GA brings up a good point. It would let so many people max entry that wouldn't usually. No? Yeah, of course. That's another thing I realized about some of these high stakes leagues is some of these people are so wealthy they just don't care. They're auto drafting all of their teams. I could never imagine doing that. Or maybe I just overblow the edge that any individual drafter has. But that's what's fun about best ball, guys. We will find out. Start a best ball stable? I don't think so. I don't think that's in my cards.
Yeah, I mean, what would Liam do with his time if he did the stable?
Yeah, exactly. Just
he'd have to become a full-time streamer, and he didn't want to do that.
I was definitely burnt out on streaming a little bit. I got to figure out my plan. Last time I lived a little with Davis Kitchen, I asked him for advice for me. Davis, what advice do you have for me? What would you do in my shoes? Now, there's a lot I should be doing if I was trying to do this the best way. Like, I should have already made a video like, this is how I won $1 million. I should have. I should be on all the platforms, but and your heart of hearts, Davis, you know me a little bit by now. What would you do if you were me?
What would I do? I mean, I would start something where people can directly pay for your rankings or your cheat sheet or whatever. Be like, this is my $1 million best ball cheat sheet, and then have your rankings, and it
Yeah.
would be color coded. So it'd be like, this is a guy I'm taking at ADP every time. I'm only taking this guy 5 spots after ADP. I'm only taking this guy 10 spots after ADP, and then a spreadsheet where they could see your exposures on Underdog, on DraftKings, on Drafters, and yeah, that's what I would do if I was you.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I figured this first year we're just kind of firing from the hip, and we'll see what we do. I mean,
Liam, when are you leaving on this theoretical trip to Vegas and or London?
that would be. Are you trying to schedule this thing with Kyle? Well, in Vegas, if I'm
Well,
in Vegas,
I just saw they have Monday, September 5th, noon main event.
I'll know soon. Again, I would like. I think if we're trying to win the contest, it makes sense to draft this week. Like the earlier the better, the less info that's out there. We've
I
been
mean,
people that
I just don't agree with that at all. Especially because
drafting since fucking May. You like these are dudes tuning in for the first time, and they're like, oh my god, I gotta do X Y Z. Like one preseason touchdown can flip the slate. But ultimately, it doesn't. It's not that big an edge.
I also have been meaning to make this point, which is like this is an all-time no injury offseason, right? Tim Patrick tore his ACL,
Yeah.
but up until what did we say it was 16 days until the season starts, we have no top 100 player suffering an injury. All the falls have been like news, coaching inspired. There's been no.
It's a very unique offseason. And we should expect that in such a chaotic sport. Where this year, the biggest news
I don't think you would ever anticipate an offseason where a top 100 player, at least one, did not have a season-ending injury before the season starts.
Well,
like
but we
that's
have top
very
100
bizarre.
players coming in with injuries, and I
Sure.
think there's a couple things that really are unique to this offseason. It's the high-powered offenses that are uncertain. The Broncos, the Chiefs, the Packers, and it's like some of these players we really like Will Fuller. We have no idea.
I am done taking Will Fuller. No more Fuller for me.
I can't click the button anymore either, man.
Because Charles Robinson went on the Underdog show last week.
I heard that, but that just sounded like I mean, what he said makes sense.
Which is that Fuller doesn't want to play football. If Fuller wanted to play football, he'd be playing.
No. What he said was does he? I don't know him. Does he have actual connections in the NFL?
Yeah, he's very. He would know. He would not say something without knowing.
Okay, well that's a little bit difference there. But here's what he said, which I think makes sense. Which is he said basically teams are not convinced that Will Fuller is Will Fuller anymore, and players that win with speed. That happens to them. So that could be if Will Fuller's not good anymore, that could be
I mean, that seems problematic, right? It seems if Will Fuller's not good anymore, that's probably
and he said that, and I thought through it, and I was like, I'm someone who used to be fast myself. Now, obviously, I'm not a professional athlete, but real quick, I was not fast when I stopped working out at sprinting. Real quick, let me wrap up my team here. I went with a 2-5-9-4 build. It's a so-so team. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Saquon, Cam Akers, Cordell Patterson, Kenneth Gainwell, Gabriel Davis, Darnell Mooney, MVS, Chris Olave, Romeo Doubs, Alec Pierce, Zay Jones, Jamison Crowder, Nelson Aguilar, Dawson Knox, Logan Thomas, Daniel Bellinger, and Tyler Conklin.
Not your you fucking love these 4 tight end teams on this site. I mean, I don't hate it, whatever. Especially because you didn't take your first one. I have Jalen Hurts, Tua, Matt Ryan, Joe Mixon, Tony Pollard, CH, Miles Sanders, Jamal Williams, Ty Montgomery. I'm actually happy with how that running back room came together. Then Jalen Waddle, Juju, Devonta, Chase Claypool, DJ Shark, Wan'Dale Robinson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Quez Watkins, Travis Kelce, Jonnu Smith, Greg Dulcich. So there,
Yeah,
I'm capitulating. I'm capitulating on Dulcich.
Yeah, I think I like your. I don't know. Like you always take some wild ADP stabs.
I literally like do not care about ADP after
and
like
I
the
think
first
that's a
round.
good
Yeah, I
a
just
good
don't
way to win the contest because there's just not going to be that many teams building the teams like you do.
Like how many teams have Jonnu, Dulcich, and Ty Montgomery? Like not very many.
And
Sub
and
1%.
Quez you could have gotten in around 20, but like
Yeah.
you basically just took a couple round 19, 20 guys, which is not that much a difference than the 16, 17 guys to help with the uniqueness.
Correct.
Daryl, you're gonna have to help me decipher your comments here. No decent running back to help optimize your lies at all. What lies, Daryl? Help us, brother.
He's saying
all right.
he doesn't love the Derrick Henry start.
I don't like the Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I don't like Derrick Henry either. That's like one of the only times I've taken him. But figured why not? And he's better on drafters, in my opinion, than playoff format best ball.
Yeah.
All right, Davis.
I actually think that's true.
Well, I'm a little low energy today. I caught a bit of a cold at the bachelor party, I think. But do you have anything to wrap it up today before I say my parting words?
You know, I just really hope all of this Alan Lazard hating does not come back to bite me when he turns into this year's Cooper Cup. That is going to be a tough scene for me.
For me, I would say don't know what streams I got planned. Going to do a guest stream, I think, with Neil of Stochastic pretty soon here. And me, Davis, Kyle, we're going to try to do a main event. Going to try to do a main event with some other people. And maybe I'll start drafting some of these DK ones on stream.
Monday, 1 Eastern time.
This Monday?
No, next Monday.
Give me a little. I gotta find some stuff.
Yeah, sort yourself out, dude. Sort yourself out.
I just got back on the trip.
I got you.
Do you think it's optimal to grab running backs earlier on drafters opposed to DK?
I do.
Yes, Tyler, I would say that, but also I would say it depends on your like. I think it's sometimes fine on DK too, just if like all the wide receiver value falls. Anyways, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help me out. Promo code Chesliam or promo code Davis will get you a deposit match up to $100. Tell your families you love them and have a great day.